For this given function, we're going to find the vertex, X Symmetry, the maximum minimum value, and the graph of the function. So let's start the vertex. One thing we can do is use this formula, x equals negative b over 2a. So all we need to do is find the b and find the a. Substitute them in. Well, b is the number from the x, so it's 2. A is the number from the x squared, so it's a 1. We end up with negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. Now that x is actually our h in our vertex. Now to find the k, we simply find alpha of negative 1. So what that means is we can substitute the negative 1 inside the function for the x. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just substituting the negative 1 for the x. And when we do that, we get 1 minus 2 plus 3. And then 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. So our vertex is negative 1 comma 2. Now it also asks to find the axis of symmetry. Well, the axis of symmetry is always a vertical line, so it's always x equals, and it's always the x value of the vertex. So in this case, the axis of symmetry is x equals negative 1. Now, the maximum or minimum value, since the number from the x squared is a positive, that means that it is a minimum. There is no maximum. So the minimum value is the y value of the vertex. So it's y equals 2 at x equals negative 1. And then it says to graph it. So what we're going to do to help us graph it, we're going to use a graphing calculator. We already have some points. Let's go ahead and graph it. In order to graph it, we need to see the equation. So let's go to y equals and type in x squared plus 2x plus 3. We have quite a bit of information. We just need a little bit more. So you can see from the graph that it is a minimum. If you look at the table, it looks like it is crossing at negative 1. I think 2 is what we said. Yeah. If we look at the table, you can see that negative 1, 2. And then we can also use the table to help us graph. So that's what we're going to do. So start the vertex, negative 1, 2, which is right there. And the axis of symmetry, line of symmetry, or axis of symmetry, either way you want to look at it, is the vertical line that goes through the vertex. And so we just need to plot a couple points, and you should see that at negative 1, 2, let me go down here, you should start seeing these y values are symmetrical. That's why it's called line of symmetry, in case you're wondering. See at 3, 6, 11, 3, 6, 11. So let's just plot a few of those points. So we have 0, 3, 1, 6, and then 2, 11. And then you should be able to see negative 2, 3. In fact, you can just move over without really having to worry too much about the actual points. And then you play connect the dots, and we get our U, a parabola. And let's see if that's all it was asking. And it is. We're done.